Hello, I'm Marshawn Allen, and I'm really excited to be the one who gets to give our Advocacy Award this year. I'm excited because these people prevented a group of you from having to experience what I did. For this award to make any sense to you, I have to give you a bit of background, so bear with me. At the age of 15, I was charged as an adult with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Although it was undisputed that I was not immediately present when the deaths occurred, that I did not personally hurt or kill anyone, that I did not plan to hurt or kill anyone, and that I did not handle or possess any weapons, I was still found guilty and subsequently sentenced to a mandatory term of life imprisonment. The law that allows this is an arcane feature of our legal system called the felony-murder rule. The felony-murder rule is one of the most controversial and criticized legal principles of our American jurisprudence. Why? Because it holds people like me legally responsible for deaths that we only did not commit, but also for deaths we did not plan, intend to commit, or know would occur. All that is required to trigger a felony murder conviction is for a death to occur during the commission of certain felonies. It doesn't matter how the death occurred, who caused the death, or who actually dies. Those convicted of felony murder are forever labeled as violent offenders, even though they never personally committed any acts of violence, and they are branded as murderers, even though they have never harmed or intended to harm anyone. This law is not fair and it's not just. Unfortunately for me, there was no community outcry when I was charged with felony murder. There were no organizations, community activists, or other concerned citizens voicing their outrage or running to my rescue. But I often wonder what would have happened had there been. So that brings us to the award and the events leading up to it. On August 14th, 14-year-old Jaquan Swopes was shot and killed by a Lake County man who heard Jaquan and 5 friends, some his older cousins, apparently trying to steal his car. The next day, the Lake County State's Attorney, Mike Nerheim, charged the 5 remaining teenagers with murder of their friend using the felony murder rule. Just days after the shooting, we got an email through our website. It read like this: I am saddened by the felony murder charges against the teens in Lake County, burglary/death of a 14-year-old. I have been granted an appointment with Mike Nerheim on Monday morning as a community clergy member requesting that he reduce the charges. Would you be able to call to help me prep for this meeting? I would like to use my brief audience well. And it says, I was inspired to do this because just last week I read Brian Stevenson's Just Mercy. And it's signed Pastor Ben Squires, Bethel Lutheran Church, Gurnee, Illinois. It was not just a small email to us. We have been racking our brains, ringing out our networks to find connections in Lake counties to help us launch some kind of an effort to change the state's attorney's minds about these charges. That email was hope. What followed for us was an unprecedented whirlwind of new friendships, partnerships, and activism kindled by this modest note. Within 1 week, Pastor Ben from Bethel Lutheran, Jason Dewey from the Sign of the Dove Church, Courtney Combs from YWCA, Matt Carney from Transform Nation, Veronica Williams from Mothers Against Wrongful Convictions, George Moore and Beth Pope of Legacy Reentry Foundation, and Anthony McIntyre from Switch Lanes had come together to create an incredible community dialogue event with almost 100 attendees. Together, we generated hundreds of calls and letters to State's Attorney Nerheim. We prepared not just Pastor Ben, but numerous others to speak directly with State's Attorney Nerheim and supported other groups to do more of the same. Before Ben sent that note, we knew not one of these individuals, and we believed it was because of their fast, sensitive, smart, compassionate advocacy that Diamond, Stevens, Stacy, Kendricks, and Curtis are not facing serious prison time for murder today. Our Advocacy Award is sort of special. We only give it to regular people doing things above and beyond, things that are not in their job description. Last year we gave the award to Ms. Evelyn Wingard, who is here with us again today. This year we are pleased to give the award to these incredible advocates from Lake County with us today. We have Ben Squires, Jason Dewey, Judge George Moore, Beth Pope, Courtney Combs, and Veronica Williams. I'd like to ask Pastor Ben Squires to come up and receive the award on behalf of the group.
Have my other awardees stand up too so that they know where you're at. So. Joby said I got 2 minutes. I'm a preacher. Just really humbled by this recognition. And humbled to be the one to be up here accepting it. I feel like I just pushed just a little bit, and these others that are out there really are the ones who got the ball rolling. And many of them are still working to support the families. I know Matt Kearney has been reaching out to them and supporting them as things go forward. And so for that I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for the connections. We already had a few of them, and that I knew to call you and knew you were the right ones, and you knew who else to call. But it's also forged new relationships and collaborations and fueled us to see how to embrace our role in being for the community. So like I said, I'm a preacher, so if you just allow me, I also have to give credit to God, but the way I want to give credit to God is this. You have to go back even further. And here's how it goes back as far as I can see in God lining all this up. So a couple of years ago was when Starbucks was selling Brian Stevenson's book, and so I bought it and then put it on a bookshelf and didn't read it. Then our church, along with others, were vandalized in Lake County, and Mike Neerheim's office drew us all together to help figure out what would be the correct restoration. And so I had met Mike Neerheim. In May of this year, I planned a sermon series on spiritual gifts and set that August 11th would be the week that we would look at the gift of mercy. So that week, not really knowing how to talk about mercy, I pulled Just Mercy off the shelf and started reading it. And I kept reading it long and past when I really needed to just find a little quote for the sermon. I preached on mercy, finished the book that day. That was August 11th, and then just a few days later is when Jaquan died. And then there was the news, and there was Joby's name in the Tribune. So God lined up a lot of things to bring that all about. And very thankful that those youth are able to have a different chance. One last thing I want to share is that I'm very thankful for this, just how this is all brought together because of getting to meet Wendell Robinson, who just showed up at my office a couple of days after that whole email exchange, ready to help. And I've learned so much from you, Wendell, and I look forward to working with you a lot more in the future. Joby, we need a Lake County office, and you need to send him there.